we were able to extend the network out with just a couple of access points using some mesh protocols. Where was it, to Starbucks, basically?
Yeah, we tried to go all the way to the casino, but it really didn't work. So.
Well, there were some issues that the casino didn't really care for that too much either.
No Wi-Fi's when you gamble.
I don't know. It'd be nice to sit in a casino and drink a beer and be
Well,
on
how much money you lost.
We'll see what our expansion limit is for next year.
Yeah. So big thing, DCTV to the hotel rooms. Do you want to talk about that, Derek?
Sure.
All right.
So, yeah, it's been a few years since we've had DCTV in the hotel rooms just because in the Riviera we didn't have access to their cable TV head end. So we really missed that, and obviously a lot of people got sore feet over it. So we were really happy to be able to get back in there again this year. But we're still at a challenge, and that was we had to pipe video over a mile of cable effectively. So the systems we were using before, which were analog balance, weren't going to work. Because you just get a big blob of noise at the end and no audio. So this year we're running MPEG-4 over IP over a fiber trunk to the head end. Now, the equipment to do this stuff is crazy expensive at the professional level, so we're actually using some, again, eBay finds, really inexpensive MPEG-4 and AAC encoders that are designed for video surveillance. We ran into some challenges actually finding decoding equipment that would play it back on the other end, and those challenges came up right near the end. So again, thanks to SOK for supplying us with some scan converters that allowed us to retrofit what we brought to actually get the other end at the cable TV head end working. But with 5 channels, it would have been, I think it's $3,000 for the 2 ends of the encoders for a professional level equipment. So, $15,000 budget for DCTV, that wouldn't have gone over well. So instead, we did it for basically a shoestring budget, and I think it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, the original plan was to use PlayStation 3s actually as the decoders, and we found out, unfortunately, once they have a network in between them, they started crapping out after about 3 to 5 minutes of streaming. So we were scrambling, trying to find boxes that we could run this stuff on, and basically Derek re-engineered it at the last minute and got it working. Our plan was to have a little bit more content on the TV channels, but unfortunately we had to forego that just to get the feeds there for now. So
We were literally plugging them in during the first talk, wandering around here. So as people were arriving in, we were plugging it in. So that's how close we cut it with DCTV this year.
Finding the servers to plug in as well, since we didn't have the PlayStations, we had to scramble to get computers. So now my work laptop is up in the CATV head end. I can't get it back without a guy who's licensed by the Gaming Commission, I think, to actually unplug it from their network. Same thing, I'm sorry, Mac, but his torrent server, which he was going to have using this wonderful bandwidth, is now serving videos too. So he doesn't get any new television to watch when he goes back home.
So you can thank these guys for giving up their laptops so you can have TV in your room. All right, so we also had workshops. I don't know if anybody heard about that.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine, he's just hungover.
It's DEF CON. What do you expect?
He actually works, trust me.
Which is why he's now sleeping.
Yeah.
No, let it go.
I can hear him snoring. It's
All right,
not coming
good,
out of the
good.
mic. He's fine.
All right, so workshops.
We tend to party just as hard as you do, so, and go to work every morning.
Yeah, we have to get up at 8. Our call is at 8, so sometimes that's pretty...
Sometimes it's
I'm a slave
Sometimes.
driver.
Yeah, they're both slave drivers. I don't know how they do it. Oh, that's right. They go to bed at 10. No, I'm just kidding.
When I leave here, I go on vacation.
That's not true. Just one night.
So workshops, we had workshops, so we had to deploy some switches there. That was new to us, kind of a new thing, which I think will be good. I think we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll have more stuff going on there. All right. Issues, PoE. We bought a bunch of PoE switches off of eBay. Unfortunately, they are Cisco proprietary PoE switches.
We got some power injected switches, not some PoE, or sorry, power inline switches, not PoE.
Yeah.
We have IP phones, but no access points. That wouldn't help.
Yeah, so we could run Cisco IP phones on them all day long, but not wireless access points that are to the 802.3 AF spec.
You said iOS devices. I heard Cisco iOS. I don't know what you were talking about. No one told me Apple.
Apparently, overnight, the DHCP stopped working. We're not sure about that. We're going to look into that. So that's an issue to figure out if someone was DOSing it or not. We don't know.
To be fair, people were at parties. No one should be on overnight last night. So it's fine.
Like I said, everybody's out drinking. PS3s we talked about. New infrastructure.
Yeah, new hotel, just having to figure out exactly what hooks up. A lot of the time, sight unseen, et cetera, et cetera.
And the normal challenges that come with a casino hotel. Fortunately, the good hotels have their infrastructure designed so that the convention services area is actually a purely separate network from the hotel and casino side. And this hotel is no exception. They have their network very well separated.
Yeah. There's also, Wi-Fi penetration. So just being able to penetrate into the spaces. I think there's some potential dead zones, but as we figure that out, we're going to get better at, okay, we need more access points, or maybe we need to put access points in key areas so that people get a consistent signal. So.
Yeah, we planned for the signal to bleed over to the walkway there, to the hallway, and it didn't do as well as we thought. So that's something to get better next year.
I think it's the big giant metal shield on the
no
corners.
kidding.
Now I'm looking at it.
Faraday cages.
Something about an RF cage, Faraday cage. All right. So now is the A and Q, right? We give answers, you ask questions.
I was going to say,
there's a microphone up front here. If people want to come up and ask a question.
I don't know if it's up or
Don't all rush up at once.
Or
though.
just yell it out.
We'll repeat the questions if they're not on mic. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm curious what the cost is for the internet access for the duration of the event, and who actually are you paying? The hotel, an ISP? What are some numbers there?
Heather?
Actually, I don't have the contracted price in front of me, and that happened months ago. But it is done through the hotel. The hotel already has that bandwidth set aside, and they bill based on...
Ballpark. I'm not asking to the penny.
It was, honestly, I don't have it right now. It was mixed in with a bunch of other contract stuff months ago, so I do apologize. But that is actually bandwidth that the hotel has for all conventions. We can go up to 200 meg on that bandwidth. Beyond that, they would need to bring in additional, but...
Super quick question. On the diagrams you had up there, you had a really cool application to map out the wireless ranges. What is that called?
I think that... Go ahead, Luiz.
It is embedded on the Aruba system, so it's called RF Plan, and you just throw there like the size and all the...
Is it open for other AP types or just that?
No, it's specific for their AP.
So the controller itself has a management interface, and that's where it's actually pulling that from. You go in and you go, all right, place all the APs where we told them to put them, right, and put them on that map. So
Nice.
It allows us to import a map essentially into that.
It takes all of the fun out of the job.
Thank you.
Quick favor, can you guys move the line over right up here, please? No,
We're not the TSA.
Not
We're
you.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the video camera behind you.
Yeah, we're doing this the wrong way. We're supposed to use the Q&A room, but stuff starts at 6:30, so it's kind of weird.
Hush, go.
Not really a question, just a comment for consideration for next year.
Yes,
You
please.
guys mentioned that you have a lot of equipment that you transport out here. Possibly a solution to save on transportation costs if it's just equipment that you only use once a year. Just get a local climate-controlled facility.
Yeah, we have talked about that, and for some things that will work, but we do have the challenge of having to pre-configure and test and update and do that
Update
sort of
the
thing.
config.
This year, there's 3 of us that came out Saturday night, And we had already pre-configured a lot of the equipment and updated a lot of the equipment to, for instance, work with IPv6 and give us the additional features that we needed. So we do a lot of that kind of remotely. So it'd be hard to do that in a storage situation. But for some of our equipment, we are considering.
Yeah, I mean, cables and stuff we don't need to necessarily haul out, but we need to update firmwares and whatnot.
Just wanted to see if you guys had any recommendations for a newbie setting up an 802.1x network on the cheap, I guess.
For 802.1x, what, on the server side or? The whole thing? Well, we actually use today any enterprise or not really enterprise type of solution supports 802.1x, WPA, WPA2 with 802.1x authentication. You can get, we use free radius. You can use free radius, and sometimes it's could be a pain in the butt to configure, but it's well documented actually these days for the commonly used applications.
All right, so I have two. One, I was just curious for the wireless stuff. It like in the program, and like you guys mentioned, it goes straight from the like wireless to the firewall. Is that just by way of VLANs? Because you said they have like access point isolation, so like two clients can't talk to each other, or do some fancy stuff like L2TP tunnels or anything like that.
There are two. So for each AP, we have two ESSIDs. Each ESSID on each AP has one VLAN. So if you hop in AP1, you jump on the secure network. Once you run to another AP, you're going to be on another VLAN. And then internally, all the traffic is actually encapsulated through GRE from the AP to the controller. The controller makes decisions as for what VLAN that user belongs and what policies we do. And we actually bridge everything up to the firewall. So all the routing is done on the firewall.
Very cool. The second one is, since you guys mentioned it, I actually fired up TCP dump on my phone, which usually does IPv6. I didn't actually receive any RAs. So
are you on the secure or on the?
Yeah, secure.
Yeah, probably on the secure. You're not going to see anything because that's the whole idea. Because on top of it, on top of the VLAN ISO.
I was going to say for the RA you should have been seeing. That comes from the firewall side. Yeah, so that. I mean, I was seeing it plenty on our stuff. So I was seeing better RA. Traffic coming float through than from the DHCP just because of the way V6 does its address allocation. So I'm curious if we could see it afterwards. We'll talk.
Sure. All right, cool. Thank you.
Just one thing regarding traffic management, traffic shaping. Have you guys played around at all with dynamic percentage-based per MAC traffic shaping at all, or is it just raw FIFO?
I was going to say not per MAC.
No.
We do have outbound traffic shaping on the firewall. We tend to give priorities to HTTP, SSH.
So it's protocol-based?
It's protocol-based, yeah, at the firewall level, not anything at a station level or, for MAC.
Okay, cool.
Are you asking us if we want to prioritize our traffic? I'm just...
Oh, no. It was just because I've been investigating some of that for, when bottleneck alleviation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple things. One, it seems to me the equipment you're using is not exactly specialized for DEF CON. Have you considered maybe working with UNLV or a community college in the area to have them maybe split cost for equipment with them? They use it during the year. DEF CON isn't during the traditional school year. Maybe you guys can take the equipment then, something like that.
So part of that comes down to whatever negotiations and contracts we can do with those individuals, and I don't know if we have any particular relationship with UNLV in particular, but it's an idea. One of the things we have been avoiding in the last few years is getting any kind of specific vendor promised or any specific relation promised that is not ours, because given the timing, given the pre-config, and given this resource allocation, like if all of a sudden they decided they didn't want to let us use it 1 year and we're borrowing equipment, we're really in the hole for that.
Or if
so we try to make sure those are good.
If there's a political reason they didn't want to give us the equipment, I mean, it's a really great idea, but we are a hacking